Hey guys, it's Al with Longoria House Dog Training. Hey, thank you very, very much for watching this virtual reality video. If you've never watched this before, what I want to recommend to you is you're holding your phone, make sure that you're looking left and right as you're looking through your phone, and you're going to be able to see everything that's going on. The best way to watch this, if you happen to be watching this on YouTube, is to watch it in a head-mounted display or a headset. I've got this little one here that I popped my phone into, which I happen to be recording on, and then I can put that over my eyes, and it gives me a very, very immersive experience and really helps bring you into the dog training session. But what you're going to see in this dog training session is this is the first session that I have with the puppy Grace, where I'm actually going to be coaching her owner on all the different languages. So there's a ton of content here, but hey, tell me what you think about this experience. Leave that in the comments below. If you liked it, hit that thumbs up, hit those hearts, and if there's anything that I can do for you, hey, let me know. All right, enjoy the video. I want to keep things simple the way that we were before. I want to make sure that, hey, do you understand that there's an ABC? Do you understand that there is a red, green, and blue? And do you understand that there's 3 skills that we're trying to teach your dog? So today I'm just going to give you a breakdown of the languages that we use to communicate to the dog. The languages are pressure, which is my leash, scent, which is the dog's food, motion, which is my body, and then sound, which is my voice. And I put them in that order because what we find is that if you actually communicate pressure, scent, motion, sound, that it actually means a lot more to the dog than if you did sound first, motion second, and then scent and pressure last. Does that make sense?
Yes.
The 2 most relevant forms of communication to the dog are going to be pressure and scent. Motion is inherent in the way that we move, and then if we can time when we talk, it will actually make a pretty significant difference. Okay. So a couple of things that maybe I already went over with you, but I just want to go over them right now. Sometimes I'm not in training mode. I just need to be able to move a dog from point A to point B. So the way that I do that is I put the leash around my wrist. I come over the top of my hand, over the top of this L, and then with my peace symbol, I grab that knot that we put there. And so there, it just makes it very easy to be able to move a dog. Like if I need to go through a door into the vet clinic and I don't want my dog misbehaving and I don't want to use up all my voice commands, I just do this because it really prevents the dog from being able to do a lot of things that I don't want.
Okay. What about that behavior?
Yeah, so I'll teach you this. You're gonna see stuff that I ignore so much stuff right now because we need to, because we gotta build your ability to communicate. But let me just put it this way, okay? I'm gonna give you an answer real quick. Anytime that the dog is chewing something, it is a form of reward. Regardless of how much value we put in the object, it has value. So I'll tell you this, if your dog is down on the bed and it's chewing on the leash, I'm actually okay with that because it's actually rewarding the behavior that I'm after.
Okay.
However, if you don't want to buy an endless supply of leashes, you need to offer something better as an alternative. But I never really get upset with the dog chewing on the leash when it's doing the thing that I want it to do, because that's actually helping me more than creating conflict, telling the dog stop chewing that,
and take
then
this instead.
And then take, yeah, like I just don't want to say stop doing that and not offer something that's better, because that's short-sighted if you want my opinion. Does that make sense?
Yes. So for example, she's doing much better staying for short periods of time, especially when she's here and she can see me. But I've left her, the leash is on her, and I'm cooking or whatever, and she's staying there because she's chewing. So I've been letting her do that.
Yeah, and so then, like if the leash was all that valuable to you, just offer something better than the leash.
But if I'm fine, and I like that because then she's learning just to chew and not eat the food constantly. So I just wanted to make sure that was okay.
Yeah, any form of reward that you want to use, as long as the reward is associated to the behavior that you want, you're golden.
Okay.
But the problem is that people sometimes value the leashes more than their dogs, and I call people on that all the time, and they don't recognize that that's what their actions are doing. But like, I don't want the dog to chew the leash up. I'm like, well, what's more important, the fact that the dog stays in the down or this $10 leash?
Right.
And so I said, well, so if you value the leash that much, then you need to provide a better alternative because you still have to reward what the dog is doing.
Okay.
But I have so much grace for chewing for young puppies because that's who you are.
Mm-hmm. And she is losing her teeth
Yeah.
like crazy.
Okay, so now let me begin to teach you some technique,
Okay.
So I'm going to teach you what's called the two-handed technique. Actually, let me put you right here. So in the two-handed technique, you're going to take the 3 fingers of your right hand here, and that's going to leave these 2 open because in those 2, that's where you're going to use a tool, okay? So the tool that we'll end up using will be our clicker, okay? So you got to have a way to handle that. And then with my left hand, which I lead with my left, you're going to hear me say that a lot, you lead with your left, I'm going to grab this nut here. So the way the leash works, it's a very simple principle. Pressure on, the dog does what you want, pressure off. A, B, C, pressure on, behavior, pressure off. So if I want her to come off, pressure in the direction that I want her to move, and you have to be patient right here. Like I can make her come off, I'll be patient for about 5 or 6 seconds, but then if she doesn't come off, then I'll go ahead and make her come off and I'll slack the leash. Then I repressurize the line, I move back in the direction of the bed. When she's 100% on the bed, then I release the pressure. It is better to be late in releasing the pressure. It is not good to be early. Okay?
So when she's completely on.
Yeah, they have to completely finish the work.
Finished.
They have to completely finish it for me to stop guiding them. That's going to change. It won't change for the next 3 weeks. I may change that, but like I want you to say, hey, the leash stays taut until they've 100% done it. You'll be doing yourself a favor.
Okay.
So here, again, I turn it on. I'm a little patient. I'll wait for a few seconds. If she doesn't, then I will make her. Then when she comes, I slack it, pressure, okay? She gets all the way on there, and I slack it. If I want to reward with pressure, that's what my left hand is for. And then it's just real calm style petting, like from a professional, masseuse or something like that. It's not supposed to be that because that works against what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
There was an inherent part, another language that was an inherent part of what I was doing, it was motion. I kept her on my left. I lead with my left, I keep her on my left. Some of the mistakes people make is they'll grab across the body, they'll bring the dog this way and that way, and you're teaching the dog how to cut you off and all of that. So like we're already working on our leash walking. One more time. Turn the pressure on. She does what you asked, pressure off. You turn the pressure on, it's on, it's on, it's on, and it's off. Okay? And then reward. That's pressure. Okay. The last language is sound. This is sentence structure, so you're going to see pressure, scent, motion, sound. You don't have to use all 4, but we're going to use 3 right now. We're going to use pressure, motion, and then sound. So what you're going to see is you're going to see me start with the leash, you're going to see me begin to move, and right before she actually does what I want, that's when I'm going to say the name of what I call that thing. So I'm going to begin to teach her free and go to your bed. People want to start with the voice, and the voice is actually the last thing that the dog hears before it does it. So again, this is free and go to your bed, and there's going to be praise now too, which is a form of reward through sound. Petting is a form of reward through pressure. Free, good dog, pressure, go to your bed, good dog, very good. Okay, you want to see it one more time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, technique, free, good dog, pressure, go to your bed, good dog, very good. Okay, you don't really need more than that to be effective at training. But if we want to accelerate our training, then the next technique is known to increase whatever we do by 50%. So if you're making mistakes and you're using this technique in conjunction with mistakes, it'll amplify your mistakes. If you're getting it right, which I'm going to show you proper technique, then it will amplify getting it right and increase those. And that's the clicker. Okay. So when I teach the clicker to the dog, let me get just a little bit of food from you if you don't mind.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
I wanted to ask you, the brand that you brought me.
Yeah.
So this was the Peppy formula. I know it's not the exact same brand.
Yeah, so Champion Pet Foods makes Origin and Acana.
That's what, for
You're
baby,
good.
I mean, Pet Ranch told me.
Okay, cool.
So that I thought they thought it might be the same.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
similar.
they're very similar.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that they're interchangeable. And what I would do for you right now is go ahead and get your treat pouch.
Okay.
Go ahead and put any food in there
Okay.
that you want. Okay. So when I teach the clicker, I teach a triangle. And what that means, okay, so here's the thing I'm trying to get you to avoid. Hand in the pouch already. A lot of trainers will have food in their hand and they'll be manipulating the dog, and the dog can actually see the food, and that actually hurts your training in the long run. I try not to ever let the dog see the money or the food until they've actually done the work.
Okay.
Like you have to do the work to get the pay. So I'm going to teach you a triangle technique. You don't always have to use it, but I want you to use it today. So you're going to click, you're going to talk, and you're going to reach. Your brain's going to tell you that when you start talking to go back in the pouch, deliberately try to hold your hand out of the pouch until after you started talking. So here's what it would look like. I'm here. Good dog. Very good. Very good, puppy. Do you like that? Oh, it's good. Very good. Yeah, good dog. So, a little finicky on the food, but that's not what's important here. The technique is what's important. So it's click, talk, reach. So again, good dog. Very good. What a good girl you are. Good girl. Good dog. And it's okay if you put the food down. Good dog. Very good. Good dog. Sometimes when I put hand sanitizer on and then I come and work the dog, they don't necessarily like the traces of the hand sanitizer that's still there, because they can smell that. Okay. So again, the technique is good dog. Very good. Very good puppy. Very good girl. And I think that's what's going on. Good dog. Very good. And I try to talk the entire time that the dog is eating the food, because that's how I begin to make my voice powerful.
Okay.
Okay? So I'll make a mistake, like this is a mistake, like you would have your pouch, put your hand back here, and you would click, and then you start praising, and your hand was already back there. Because we don't want the dog to become dependent on, oh, your hand's back there? Okay, I'll go ahead and do what you want. And they do those kinds of things. Okay?
She even, when we get the pouch out, she'll know.
Yeah, and so now, like what I try to do is like I've really gotten good. I'm a professional dog trainer, but like when I'm raising a dog, those first year, I put this on in the morning and I put their meals in there and I carry it around with me.
And they don't know.
Yeah, and it was just part of it's part of my uniform, what I wear, right? But then like I've had times that I go out and I think I'm using this tool, and it's not even working. The tool's not even working, but I'm getting everything that I want. Because the dog's actually trained, it's not relying on the tool to do that. So these techniques are meant to help you to, as a handler and the dog's owner, to not confuse the dog, like you believe you're saying one thing, but you're actually contradicting yourself to your actions. Your actions to the dog speak much louder than your words ever will.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So I do want to show you one more thing. Okay. So I need to integrate it. So this is probably the most complicated thing. When I free her, I won't ever use the click.
Okay.
There's a reason, but it's not technically wrong. I'm only going to use the click for go to your bed and down and stay work. So watch this. Yeah, a technique. Free. Good puppy. Pressure. Motion. Go to your bed. Click. Talk. Good dog. Reach. Good dog. Good girl. Who's a sweet girl? That's a good dog. Very good. Very good. You don't like that hand sanitizer, do you? Good. Good dog. Very good. Okay, does that make sense? So I did 6 things in a row. I did pressure, motion, sound, click, talk, reach. You don't have to do that, but if you do it, it accelerates the process.
With the clicker, what does that
Do you like
for the
Papacitos?
dog? Yes.
Okay. It was really amazing what just happened. When I asked you the question, I got this from your face. Okay, so I just did to you what the clicker will do to your dog. So through association, you like Papacitos. You're not hungry right now is what that smile told me, but there is enough of association that you know that that's a good place to eat. So what happens if you click and then you give food, you hear the name, you go to a restaurant, you hear the name of it, and you go there and you eat there and you have a memorable time, then that brings emotions. That's called classical conditioning.
Okay.
So when I'm halfway across the room, okay, and I click, the dog already has the food in its mouth. Or the dopamine fires at the moment that this click hits the brain, and thereby fires all the dopamine and says, make a memory of this. But if I come over here, she's staying, and I start to walk up, and I deliver the food to her, she may only remember from here to there. But by doing this, it's like, at light speed sending the food into her mouth.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of things that are like that, but that's one of them. That's one of them, and so clicker, but that's also how the word no works. If she came off and I said no, and then I popped her with a leash, right? And every time I said no, it was followed by a pop, then eventually the word no would have the meaning and the value of the pop. Good dog. But we're showing the clicker to have the meaning of that. But like, if I didn't want to use a clicker, yes, good dog, I could condition a word.
Mm-hmm.
But the clicker is a little bit, as far as the tool goes, it's kind of like having like a craftsman tool and then something that's made somewhere else, right? The craftsman tool is a better tool for that thing, even though the other one may still get it done. It's not as good as this particular, does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.